Welcome to the MTR Network. We are back for another Super Tuesday recap of Black Lightning, episode 109, The Book of Little Black Lies. I'm Shanna. I'm here with the Doctor,
Hi.
Parrish,
What's up?
ND,
Yo.
and just based on our pre-conversation, D, why don't you tell us how you felt about the episode?
oh, I get to start, huh? Okay,
You gone first
so
before it's your turn.
look, okay, so here's the thing. So yes, I this episode was not necessarily the greatest episode, but it in my mind it's more of a transitory. It's transitioning into the last four episodes. I expect the last four episodes to be fire, but this episode served a few purposes. One, we Henderson and Black Lightning are finally on the same wavelength, at least in terms of working together. Two, they at least got the whole Jennifer inner feelings about her powers sort of out the way. Um, and three, you get to see Thunder, Anissa slash Thunder, at least in an official capacity as a superhero, which you'll see going forward. And you also see not Henderson, the Suit Man trying to make amends. Yeah, we there was no Tobias, there was none of the sort of official bad guys, but this serves more just to transition to other episodes. There were some nice moments, but I this is like okay, so this is sort of the episode that I would call the calm before the storm.
Doctor, how do you feel about the episode?
Sorry. It wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as the one 2 weeks ago that I really struggled through.
Mm-hmm.
It was a linear episode. Gambi and Anissa and Jennifer are doing side by side investigations, and that was cool. I always like seeing Gambi in action.
Jennifer?
Sorry, I misspoke, Anissa.
You said Gambi, Anissa, and Jennifer, so I would say Lynne.
I misspoke.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Gambi, I always like seeing Gambi in action, so that was nice. Henderson, I was really hoping he was going to die this week, especially with that "tell my family to remember me" speech. I was like, please, just die, because I don't like how he's being written, and I'll save that for later, and I'll just let that sit. But I don't like how they wrote him last week when 2 weeks ago when they thought that Lady Eve had been killed by Jefferson, and now he's acting like, oh, I knew the whole time. Then why are you acting like a dick? Why?
Mm-hmm.
So I think they need to rein that in. Loved Lynne's Black Mama moment, like, oh, you rolling eyes? Get the fuck out, because that's really what she wanted to say. Jennifer, you can leave through that door over there.
I was trying to wait for her to say, I'll slap them eyes out the sockets.
Yeah, I mean, she went really nice and made it about the cell phone. Like, if you're gonna have all that attitude, you can pay your own cell phone bill. I'd be like, if you're gonna have all that attitude, you need to get up out my house.
Okay, see, I might not. I thought about that. I'm like, I wouldn't have bought that from Christine Adams, but I would have bought that if the mother was played by someone like what's her name? Dre's mama from Blackish.
I think Christine has it in her.
I'm not so sure.
So I think that's because of the way that the characters are written, but I'll get to that in a second.
The way she did it is in line with how the character was written.
Mm-hmm.
But the subliminal messages, like, you don't pay bills, so you don't roll your eyes at nobody in this house, which is a Black mama thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Even though she technically doesn't live in the house, which
So, Parrish, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, it don't matter. Jennifer's not paying any of the bills regardless. So
Thank you.
you go. I struggle with with the family aspect of the show. I just feel like they want to have some conflict in the family, and I don't know that it's always necessary, and I don't know that I definitely don't feel that it's written particularly well. And so whenever they focus on the family, I'm sad to say this, but it drags. Like I would prefer to watch anything but this family interact on this show.
Oh my god!
Okay.
It's that's the whole show.
Look,
Something, Parrish, real quick.
Parrish.
Have you always, Parrish, real quick? Have you always felt that way, or is it just recently?
Just recently.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I mean, and that's what bothers me about it is that like when the show started off, I really liked just about every aspect of this show, and I really liked the way in the beginning I liked the way that the family interacted with each other, but it just seems like I don't know. It seemed like the entire family stuck on stupid, and it just I don't.
So, I think I agree with you in the sense that what I really loved about the show in the beginning was the interaction between the family. I thought they felt like a family and it felt really realistic. And then I don't want to say the past few episodes, but there's just been these episodes here and there where the drama or the arguments feel so written for TV.
Yeah, they feel forced.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like there are just clear moments where I don't feel like these characters are actually being the characters they were introduced as, and it's really starting to bother me.
Yeah. And like so I wasn't a big fan of this episode. And for instance, the conflict with Jennifer, I felt it started out for some reason her being upset that everybody lied to her about Jefferson being Black Lightning. So it started out with that. Like, you guys have all been lying to me, even though Anissa's like, hey, this happened to me like 2 weeks earlier. So like it's not like I've been like out here lying for years or whatever. And then it ended up being something that I thought actually made a lot of sense, is that she feels like a freak. And that I thought was great. And
Right.
that whole scene with her and her mom. But it developed as this thing. It's like, this is not really the issue, and this feels like a TV issue. Everybody lied to me. It's like,
And it's like, I mean,
you just found out you had powers 2 seconds ago, and Anissa found out 2 weeks ago,
yeah.
and their father found out a week ago. Like,
And I mean, I get the teenagers are going to act like teenagers, but I mean, her mama had a point. Jefferson was not actively being Black Lightning. He only did it to save his daughters. Why would you go through the motions of telling your children this if in your mind you just thought it wasn't going to be a problem anymore? Number one. Number two, your parents don't tell you everything.
exactly.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that's how life works.
But is that something as a teenager / young adult?
Yes.
That
Yes.
the parents really?
Yeah.
My children
Yeah.
are very aware that they are my children are very aware that there are things I don't tell them, and they're very aware that there are things they don't need to ask me about, that if they need to know, I will let them know.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I tend to think that a lot of people have a blind spot when it comes to their family.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, in a vacuum, I think they may know that, but when it comes to their own family, they expect them to sort of be completely truthful with them.
No, I don't think that's true. I think most people like I knew from even a very young age, I'm like, there's things that my mom doesn't tell me. Like, obviously, like, my mom doesn't tell me about her finances or her love life. Like, because why should she? She's an adult, and I'm a kid.
I mean,
Saying, yeah, I mean, there were things that I knew that my parents had going on. I didn't know what they were, but I could tell from the strength of their discussions that it was something heavy. And I'm like, and you know what? I know to keep my mouth shut and mind my business.
Or
and I
at the very least, you know that there are things that you're not supposed to know. Like, because I think that's every kid goes through that moment. I think where you find out something that you're actually not supposed to know, and that's how you know your parents keep stuff from you.
yeah, and I take it even further. So like I was fortunate enough to have a very big, like, very tight knit family. So like I lived down the street from my grandparents, and my mother had 4 siblings. My father had 3. So we had a fairly, big family. I had like 20 something cousins. So, I mean, just growing up in a family of that size, that there's secrets, there's shit that people ain't telling you. It's the whole concept of grown folk conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're upstairs, which is where we were supposed to be, watching cartoons, and my grandparents and my aunts and uncles were downstairs talking about something, they talking about stuff that we don't need to hear.
Yeah. For me, the part that felt truthful and not like I'm saying this because these are lines that have been written for me, was the part at the end where Jennifer has the conversation with her mom, and she's just like, like, what does this mean for me? Like, I'm not Anissa. I don't want to go out and save the world. So what does this mean for me? Like, what do these powers make me? That felt real, whereas the rest of it felt like acting. It's conflict that has been written into the story to keep
And I think
us separated.
I agree. And I think if she had led with not that I can't believe my father lied about being Black Lightning, but I can't believe you all didn't tell me that this could possibly happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a more organic argument.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it felt real when she said, well, like you said, I don't want to save the world. I just want to get married and have kids. Can I even have kids?
Yeah.
Mm.
That felt like an organic argument.
And I was angry with how Lynne reacted to it too. Like, she was just kind of like, and I'm like, girl, he had kids. Like, the least you could do is be like, your dad had children, so hopefully, I don't know everything, but like, odds are that you, like, I was like, reassure your child.
Or
That
something as
Yeah,
simple,
but when you
as
don't,
simple as,
but
honey,
when
I
they,
don't know, but let's go. We can go to the doctor and get you checked out to make sure everything's even
oh,
simple
oh,
like that.
okay, but when you don't know, they still don't know where Jefferson's powers actually came from, or really when he got them. So
Which is
she could
fine, but
say, yeah,
reassure your child.
she could say that, oh yeah, you'll be okay. But I mean,
She doesn't have to lie.
if they just got off a conversation about lying, that would have
not
been
my,
the
It's not about lying. It's about doing some. This is not the zombie apocalypse. It's not like medicine is not a thing. She could have said something as simple as, I don't know, but you know what? We can get you checked out to be sure. It's
right.
that simple. It's not lying. It's not telling her she's going to be okay, but it's saying we can
but
figure this
checked
out.
out by who? But checked out by who?
But that doesn't.
By
Still a
anybody,
human
by
being.
any
What are you
doctor. You
talking
don't,
about?
she's getting checked
Really,
out
really.
to make sure she's fertile. That's
But
not like that's
but
not a
they
superpower
but they
situation.
but now they're at a process of they're trying to hide their powers. So why would you go to a doctor where the powers might flare up?
Did we forget
Why?
that Lynn's a doctor?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
but do you
look,
want to?
Did we forget that Lynn's a doctor?
she's a doctor, and we're talking about her lady parts. I'm sorry, like, she's not gonna have like an electrical surge during her pap smear. I'm like,
It's not.
I just
Let's
I
not
just
go
think
there.
that part is academic. That in the moment when
thank
your
you.
child is facing something like this, what What is expected of you is to comfort and reassure your child. That doesn't mean that you're lying to them. That just means that you're trying to put them at ease. And I think that Doc and Shanna said the appropriate thing. I can't believe she fucked this up, because it's just easy to say, look, we don't know. We'll get through this together. Don't write this off right away, because we'll figure it out. I'll tell you this much. Your father had 2 beautiful daughters.
Very simple. I just thought her like kind of, what's the word? She just kind of clammed up. And I was just like, I need you to do better. Like, I need you to just do better in this moment.
And that goes back to the problem I have with this family. Like, it's almost like we were sold a bill of goods, right? Like, we were meant to believe that these were reasonably good, reasonably responsible parents, reasonably attentive parents, and that the children were, I think, how do I say this? A little more self-aware and a little brighter than they have been behaving in the past couple of episodes. Mm-hmm. And it's all falling apart, because
but
how could?
Okay, I never had that. They've started acting like, well, people.
To me, they've started acting like less like people. They've started acting like people who are reading lines that have been written for them. They felt more natural in the beginning to me.
Yeah, it feels like manufactured conflict.
Well, honestly, I think they dealt with this now because Jennifer / Lightning was when no, that's going to happen. She's going to play an important part in these last 4 episodes. Her and her powers, whatever the show winds up making them. So I think they had to do this episode now for later.
I don't think. Okay, so here's my thing. I don't think it's about the episode. Like, I get what they're trying to get at. I get what they're trying to address. They're trying to, like, this is her discovery. Her discovery is different from Anissa's. They're just juxtaposing the two. Like, she's not ready to be a superhero. I get that. What I'm saying is, it's badly written. It could have been written differently. The conflict would have made more sense if it was less about, you all lied to me, and more about that last part of, like, what does this mean for me? How will this change my life? Because that part didn't feel forced and acted. Like, I could understand her being angry and being like, you guys didn't tell me this could happen to me.
Right.
You like, which is different from, you guys were being superheroes and you didn't tell me. Those are 2 different conflicts. And her issue was more the latter. So that was just my thing with the Jennifer storyline. Obviously, like, they're trying to get through this because they have, their pacing is different from what we thought it was going to be. We thought she wasn't even going to find out about her powers until the end of the season. Obviously, they're moving up that pacing because they want to get her on board being a superhero as well. So now she's gone through the, like, denial, being angry part, and she's going to get into the, like, okay, so we're a family of superheroes. Now what? Still could have been written better.
Yeah, I think the latter part of it fits in a little bit more with what we know of her character. Mm-hmm. So, like, her character wants to fit in. She does not want to stand out. She does not want to be the principal's daughter. She just wants to go about her life. And I don't understand how they could have missed that. Like, that is the crux of the problem there. That's the conflict.
Yeah.
This interferes with her being able to have a normal life.
Indeed.
And then, so we talked Jennifer, Anissa. I'm just going to say right now, I wasn't with y'all in the beginning, or whoever else was saying that she can't act. I really liked her in the beginning. I thought it was really natural. Love the interaction between her and Jennifer. This episode, though, wow. Wow. You know where it really just struck me and I was like, I can't anymore with this is when she just so happens to remember something. Like, you know that face that she makes? She's like, it's in the scene when they're talking about the company, and she's like, where have I where have I heard Grandpa's notes? That's oh my god. Oh my god. Why is it so bad? Why is it so bad? Who acts like that? There was nothing natural about that scene. There was nothing that made me think that, oh, that thought just occurred to her in that moment.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. So, if you think her acting is bad, but you thought it was good originally, do you think the writing has something to do with it?
I can't
Because
tell if it's
one
the
of
writing or the directing because I feel like the writing, I mean, that's natural. Like in the sense of like in that scene, obviously, the whole point is like her dad mentions the thing and then she's supposed to be like, "Oh yeah, like I did come across that blah blah blah." So, I mean, there's not many ways you could write that scene,
let me,
but if I was the director and she did it like that, I would be like, "Oh, no." Like, let's rework this.
okay,
Let's rehearse
question.
this again.
Do you guys know who Kelly Goff is?
I know
Nope.
the name. And I'm sure if I saw her, you can tell me more.
Okay, so I don't really. That's what I was asking you because I don't really know. I've heard the name, and she's done.
She's a journalist, playwright, and screenwriter.
Yeah, I don't know if how much actual TV screenwriting experience she actually has. And I'm not saying that she is not good at her job. I don't know. I
Is
mean,
she the person who wrote this episode?
that is correct.
Yeah, this is her first writing job. Everything else she did was a columnist for Daily Beast, correspondent for The
Oh.
Root. She writes essays and stuff like that, but before that she did a lot of like election coverage, political coverage. So this is like her first foray into like writing for a show.
Mhm.
Interesting.
I mean,
That-
they yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that has some. I'm not like I said. I'm not saying she's bad. I just maybe it's just inexperience.
I mean, like I said, if I was the director, I probably would have directed it also a little bit differently. I don't think it's just like that scene. There's only but so many ways to write the like scene where, I mean, that GTC thing was really stupid. Nobody abbreviates gotcha as GTC. That was
Oh,
a bad writing choice. But like in terms of her acting, I feel like we remember also I will also, if you recall, remind you of the scene where she's supposed to be doing science. That's what that scene was like. And again, I feel that was a directing issue because I feel like probably what the writer was is like wrote like Anissa is looking at science things, and then she was supposed to fill in, and the director let her sit up there and go E equals MC squared, and the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
And it's like this person has never watched television before because like she could have had a whiteboard or like a board with like
Science
Give
circles.
me some science circles,
yeah,
something like.
you would have been writing equations or something. I just yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I don't think, like, I don't think this is necessarily writer era, but most definitely is some acting and some directorial choices that I would not have made.
Okay, so another trivia. So it looks like someone named Tanya McKiernan
Hmm.
directed this episode. Her father, Stephen J. Cannell.
I don't know who that is.
Oh,
Oh,
80s producer,
yes,
director.
yes.
Yeah.
He's also a published author too. So,
I mean, she has tons of credit. I mean, forget her
but her
dad. She
father
has
on
not,
it.
she has
But
credits
look at
going
her.
all the way back to Silk Stockings.
Look at her
Like
father's credits though.
I,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like she's prolific in her own right. If you're looking at
true.
her as a director, so again, somebody is making some bad choices along the way. I just don't know who to fault here. But I do know the common denominator is definitely Anissa.
Yeah, I mean, Steven did created 21 Jump Street and oh gosh, Rockford. He did work on the Rockford Files. He created the A Team. I mean, yeah, he's got to, and he's dead, but he's got to go.
I'm just saying, like if that's his daughter, again, I feel like the common denominator here is Anissa. I just, why? She's like, where have I heard that before? Why? Like, why is it so bad? Why? Oh,
Has anyone seen Nefessa in anything else besides this show?
I
Isn't
haven't.
this the first one?
Okay, I haven't either. So I
Yeah.
don't know if
No, she's been in other stuff because I remember when the show first came
Ah,
out, people talking about
yeah.
stuff she's been in, but I've never seen her in anything
Twin
before.
oh,
Peaks. She's done 3 episodes of Twin Peaks. She's done some voice work, a couple of things here and there, a couple of episodes of The Bold and Beautiful. Oh, she was on One Life to Live for 33 episodes.
Hmm.
eh,
I'm just saying,
Soap opera work, which might explain some of her acting choices, honestly.
hmm
Because those
yeah, because it's a
acting
little
soap
over the top. It's a
Yeah.
little
soap
extra.
opera,
I was
I was
thinking
gonna say
more
soap opera.
theater.
Sorry. I was gonna say soap opera work is almost like acting on stage, where you have to over exaggerate to kind of
Exactly.
check that out.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I wonder if she comes from theater. Because I'm not gonna, I have done some acting choices like that when I used to act, but I used to do mostly theater. The motions have to be bigger because you're trying to have everybody in the theater read it. It's television and film is different. I don't know who's letting her make these choices though. Like if I was the director, I'd be like, okay, that was interesting. Let's do the scene again. And then we also have Cress, who most of his scenes have been with her, and he's a longtime TV actor.
hmm
I'm
Hmm.
just like, who is coaching her? Who is helping her through this? Because
generally not us.
it is not getting better. It is not getting better. Yeah. So yes, Anissa gets her suit. She goes to Gambi, gets her suit. She's kind of trying to bring them back together. She's basically like, whatever he did, he's trying to make up for it. So I did appreciate that. Um, she comes out in this suit, and then we have to listen to the newest verse of the Black Lightning theme song.
you don't like your boy God Holly?
So before, I believe I said it last week that the
I'm
song
being
was so
facetious.
bad that it came back around to being good. It just did another 180 and went back around to being bad. What is this verse? Who wrote these lyrics? I mean, we know who wrote the lyrics. Why did we let him write these lyrics?
I'm telling you, he is the nephew of somebody on the CW board. I'm just saying, like somebody tried to get rid of him, and he said, "My daddy said," or "My uncle said," and they were just like, "Okay, you just do you."
I'm looking them up right now to see because I don't think it's been updated with the latest lyrics. They were so bad. It was something about black girl magic,
Yeah.
and
I was like, this isn't good, but
uh,
okay.
I just I was like, who? These are the corniest lines ever, ever. And then she's walking in just sashaying in this outfit like she's the bomb. And I'm just like, no, not with these lyrics going on. Not with these words. You
Yeah.
better not. And then what's her name? Jennifer out here lying to her, talking about you're more popular than dad on the internet. How, Sway? She don't even have an outfit yet. At that point, they've been going out here in hoodies and Barack and Michelle Obama masks.
Yeah,
How is she more popular than him?
I had a question about.
Michelle mask or was that a Hillary mask?
I don't know.
I,
I was
I didn't even
upset.
know that was a Barack mask
Yeah,
for
I
that
was
matter.
upset and
Bad
offended, so I
mask.
didn't even have all that.
All I'll say is if your daughter, who is like one of those tends to be a fashion forward person, tells you, "Oh, don't worry, you look great," do not believe that child.
I just
Just don't.
the
Just
outfit is whatever it is. The I don't like the goggles. I don't like the mask. It wasn't cute. Uh, I just
Yo, we gonna talk about my man in the meme video on YouTube.
oh, that was hilarious. I did like that
Okay, so okay, good. 'Cause I
part.
don't feel bad now. Cause see, okay, so we all like a little bit of trash in our life. So me, it's when they auto tune people saying stupid shit. Like it gets me every time.
I just like that. Like you thought it was about to be all about like yeah, like cleaning up the streets and all of this stuff, and then he was like, and that
No.
ass. I was
okay. I'll say it once. I said it before. I'll say it again. Nah,
um,
nah,
in
no,
the
no.
suit, yes.
She ain't got.
In
She
the
ain't got
suit, yes. That's why she was sashaying,
nothing.
even with them horrible lyrics playing over it, because she knew she was the bomb in that suit. But no, yeah. In general, not so much. But in that suit, yes, it does accentuate her booty. But again, at this point, she didn't have a suit. Like, I don't even understand. At this point, her and Jefferson were supposed to be laying low. So how does
Exactly.
anybody else know about Thunder so much so that she has a bigger following than Black Lightning? These are lies.
Exactly.
Well, she did take down the statue, and
But at that point,
She didn't
nobody
have
knew
a
who she
name.
was. She didn't have a name.
Like, yeah, how did somebody know enough about her to write a think piece?
Exactly. About how
Like,
she's
I,
the
I
patriarchal
when has knowing a lot ever stopped anyone from writing a think
Yeah,
piece?
he's actually right about
yeah,
well,
that.
no,
yeah, I was
yeah.
about to say that. People pull think pieces out their ass,
He's not wrong.
but still though, like she doesn't have an outfit. Like nobody, to our knowledge, nobody knows the name. Like I know people pull think pieces out their ass, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah. I was like,
Oh,
there's no way.
is this the first episode where they actually mentioned the name Thunder?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Okay.
that's why I'm like, how does she got a name 2 days ago, and she doesn't even have a suit yet at the point where her and Jennifer are having this conversation. So there's no way. I'm sorry, the internet works fast, but not that fast. It was over the top. It was too much. Like it was lies, and I didn't appreciate it. Ugh. Um,
So did y'all like the slow walk at the end of the episode?
Not
Which
really. I
They
just
really didn't do nothing to earn that slow walk.
right.
okay, so here, and this was my other issue. See, now I feel like I'm just being that person right now. I'm like, here's my, and another thing. My other issue was with the fight scene because it was like she would punch somebody and then like look around all satisfied, and then don't see like the guy coming, from behind her making all of the noise. So then Jefferson has to take that guy out, but then of course he's not paying attention. So then Henderson has to take out some other dude behind. I was like, why are y'all the slowest moving? Like, I know y'all got theme music in the background, but why are y'all not moving? Like,
Okay.
Suddenly I understand why everyone wears spandex. Maybe the clothes are too bulky. I don't know.
I just like to say that, like, Shanna's not really here. I'm making two different voices because I'm saying everything that's on my mind is coming out of Shanna's mouth.
I was so annoyed.
To be fair to Thunder, if you haven't really been in a fight before, I can kind of see why you might react sort of like satisfied after knocking one dude out.
No, but
Jefferson
was
is a
doing the
different
same thing.
story.
I'm like, is this how he trained her to fight? This is horrible. So annoyed with both of them. Like, this is why friggin' Jennifer doesn't want to be a superhero, because she knows y'all lame. That's why.
I just, yeah. I can't. And I want to love this show. I can't.
Not in this moment. Not this episode. Last episode was great.
Oh my God. So what did you all think about the confrontation at the beginning between Jennifer and Anissa, and then how it filtered out to her parents? Because we skipped over all of that.
Anissa needed every inch of her black ass beat. That was not her place. And I'm so glad that Lynne and Jefferson called her on it. Mm-hmm. It's like, look, you are being all levels of extra. I'm glad you hype. It is not your job to share information about other people in this family and all this. If you don't sit your happy ass down and get, sorry, I had a moment.
No, I get it. Like, if you were going to do that, because your siblings y'all got that bond and you're going to talk amongst yourselves, why you got to put your dad's name in it?
Yeah, and mama knew, and bitch.
Well, yeah, but what should have happened really is that she should have been like, family discussion, family dinner. That's really where it should have happened, because she knows about Jennifer, and obviously she doesn't want to keep it a secret. And then she knows about their dad. So it should have been a family meeting. It shouldn't just have been her going like, yo, so dad got powers, I got powers, we all got powers. Isn't it cool? Let's all be superheroes.
And be my neighbor.
And then lifting the bed, like, oh man, she was so extra.
It was
although that was some good form on that lift, though. Give her that. Sorry. I just come from the gym before I watched it. That was a nice form. She squatted all the way down. It's nice form.
Lynne should have beat that ass. She actually had two good reasons to get in some whoopings in this episode, because everybody was coming out of pocket at her.
Okay, but let me ask you this question. Let's assume she does not say that that Jefferson's Black Lightning. When do you think Jennifer would have actually found out? Do you think she would have figured it out on her own before her parents tell her? Or do you think her parents would have like actually sat her down and said, your father's Black Lightning?
I think had Jennifer had more than 2 seconds to think about it, I think she would have figured it out on her own. So that's why I think it needed to be a family discussion. Because,
but do you actually think that discussion would have happened? Because see, with this family, the way they've been written, I have my doubts.
But I think that's the whole point, right? So like if Anissa was thinking rationally, she would have gone to her parents and said, "Look, I got to tell you, Jennifer I had a conversation with Jennifer. She's exhibiting some powers. She's asking questions. I think we I think we all need to have a conversation and get all of this out in the air. But then again, if the family were actually better written to begin with, I don't know that they would find out that they have powers in such a dramatic fashion.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is I always go back to the episode where she was going to have sex with Khalil. They are contradicting themselves. This is supposed to be the family that is so comfortable with each other that their 16-year-old daughter sat down at a dinner table and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about having sex with my boyfriend," to her black mama and daddy. That same family is the family that should have sat down and had a discussion about the fact that, hey, hey, Jennifer told me this. I know this about you. We all have to be honest with each other, and where do we go from here?
Thank you.
Yeah, but okay, in that scene that you're talking about, Jennifer was comfortable with going in front of her parents and saying, "Yeah, I'm about to have sex with my boyfriend." Her parents weren't comfortable hearing it.
Yeah, but no parent is going to be comfortable hearing that.
Yeah, you're
True.
never
Well, that's what I'm.
here.
That's what
But
I'm saying.
that's the
I
thing. But
don't.
they established in that scene that they're the type of family that does that. Whether or not they're comfortable, they do that.
No.
That's
Yeah,
how
I
they
mean,
handle things.
so again, I'm gonna be completely real about my household situation. So, I've always told our not so little one now, that she can always come and talk to us about anything. I may not want to hear it, but don't feel like you can't come and talk to me about it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it seems a little absurd for her to say, "Well, I think I'm ready to have sex," but you can't say I fried my cell phone. First of all, you're gonna need another phone.
Mm-hmm.
So when you show up with a burnt out phone, I don't know.
Well, it's just the thing. I understand why she went to her sister first, and I actually love that she went to her sister first.
Yeah, I agree. I
But
completely
it's
get that.
so weird to me that, again, they established that this family is the type of family that apparently sits down and has the hard conversations. So you
Really,
can't.
really.
They did.
See,
They in that episode where she told them
and
about
how long?
wanting to have sex. That is where they
It's
established
nine,
that. In the
but
episode
it's
before that, when they said we continue to have family dinners, even though things were strained between us initially. We kept having these family dinners because we wanted you to have that connection. They established that they co-parent together, that they make decisions together, even though they've had tension between the two of them as parents. So
And
they've
we have no reason,
established all of these things that show that they're the type of family that has conversations and
right?
communicates.
And we have no
see,
reason to
see.
believe
Okay,
that Anissa, being a lesbian, was ever a particular problem for this family.
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah, but it's 9 episodes, and they're just now finding out that Jefferson's black. They're just now finding out that Lynne and Jefferson divorced because he was black.
But that's the thing.
So
But
they ain't having.
that's
They aren't.
they established that was the only secret that they were keeping from their girls.
Exactly.
That, and again, these are things that they established in the first 2 to 3 episodes. Like the Black Lightning thing was the secret that they were keeping. Obviously, they can't be like, me and your dad broke up because he was Black Lightning if the girls don't know that he was Black Lightning.
That's a hell of a conversation to have at with your 6, 7, 8-year-old kid. Well, mommy and daddy, we're just not getting along because daddy is a superhero, but you can't tell anybody at school. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing, is they established these things in the first few episodes, but since then, whenever they needed to create conflict, they've just gone back on those things that they established. And that's what I mean where I said the whole Jennifer thing felt so unnatural because of that. And even how Anissa acted telling Jennifer, it feels unnatural and forced because they established that this family does things this way.
And
But
honestly,
then
that
they
was the
don't go ahead.
refreshing. That was one of the refreshing parts about the show to me, is that we wouldn't go through all of the the tropey aspects of being a superhero, right? Like, yeah, we may have a bump here or there in discovering that the daughters have powers and how to handle that and what have you. But I don't know, maybe it was just me. I just didn't feel like this family would have all these tropey conflicts.
Because even with the Anissa thing, again, they established it when she first found out about her powers and she was kind of keeping it secret. Lynne says, she's like, you were acting this way when you first, realized that you were gay. Like, you pulled away from us. And so she has that moment where she says, I would like to not repeat that. Like,
right,
you can tell us.
Right, and you got the impression that, like, what she was saying to her daughter is, yeah, that problem was yours. It wasn't necessarily ours.
Like, you react. I know that this, as my child and knowing you, I know that this is how you react, but I'm telling you, you don't have to react that way, which is different. And it also establishes a pattern for Anissa. And that's the thing, is like, I feel like they've established patterns and then they break them because they're like, oh, well, in this episode, we want to have conflict around this. So we're going to break our own characters.
Right. And again, and that's what I meant in the beginning by, like, I can't watch this family interact. It just grates on me at this point.
Anything else about Anissa? I got nothing. Guys, I'm sorry.
She need to get some act right and get her shit together. She getting
She is really
just being too fucking extra. Ugh.
so extra. And I get it, Harriet. I get it. That really needs to be her name. Forget Thunder. Harriet Thunderman. I don't know.
It just hit me because I was listening to this too much. But Anissa is a really bad rendition of Randall.
No, she's not. Don't you put that voodoo on that like that.
No, the aspect of him that just goes headfirst into anything. That's Anissa. Anissa she's 100% in this.
Nope. I rebuke you in that statement. In the name of a Jesus I don't even believe in, I rebuke it.
No, look, Randall is lovable. I'm not so sure about Anissa, but both of them can tend to get a little extra when they get their mind on something.
I want better for Anissa. I want better for her because I feel like she started off really, really strong, and I got where she was coming from, and I don't know what's going on now. It's just so bad.
Yeah.
It's just so bad. So I would like to talk about the conspiracy, because to me, this was the aspect of the show that I really enjoyed. Is the larger conspiracy. The flashback to Gambi spying on these kids at the basketball court, and then you find out that this kid has been in stasis for 30 years. That was amazing. Also, really, dude, you on the basketball court doing crazy dunks on folks from 50.
All he needed was a windowless white van. What kind of creepy pedo shit was he doing? How you got this old white man in this all black town and ain't nobody called never mind.
I was really surprised that the kid was so open about his powers. Was it such a prevalent thing that nobody thought that was weird? Everybody was just like, oh, he got mad ups. What's going on? He flew through the air.
He did.
What's going on? So I'm excited about this storyline. I think this is the thing that's going to get Jennifer involved when she realized there's other kids like her. Do you think they free all of the super kids?
No.
That would be cool.
There's gonna be some L's. I just feel like they're gonna take some L's.
See, I want them to free all of the super kids. I think that
I
would be
do
so
too, but I feel like this is just going to be more reason for Jefferson to stay mad at you.
Um, oh, I wanted Jennifer to have some super kid friends.
She'll have a few, but not all them kids.
But then, okay, do you think these are kids all from like back in the day?
I think it's over the passage of time. The other thing is this: I don't think all them kids are still alive.
Oh,
I think some of them might have died in stasis. Because didn't Gambi say something about there's a bunch of kids and some of them were dead? I could have swore he said that.
well,
Maybe.
yeah, there was the 9, right?
Hmm.
The ones that
Nine?
Jefferson's father was investigating,
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was okay.
right? They are they dead? Or are they still? Do you
No,
think
I'm
those are
talking
the
about.
stasis kids?
Well, I'm talking about when he was looking at that stuff. When he found the facility, I felt like he said something about some of those kids were dead.
Yeah, that was the thing, was like they started dying, and that was what.
No,
Uh,
no, no, no. I'm saying when he told Anissa at this facility there are some dead kids. That's what I felt like he said.
oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't know that. I thought he just said like they're holding these kids. That's what I thought.
I might have to go back and watch
Okay.
that part of it.
Yeah, I didn't think that there
Okay.
were any dead kids at being held. I thought it was like these are all like kids that Gambi scouted out that they've been holding. So also, what happens to like this kid that was like put in stasis in like, 1979 and wakes up now and they're still 16? See, that could be interesting. I'm
Yeah,
way more
but
interested in this than I am in anything else.
is this where we get a little bit more insight into Tobias's backstory?
That's what
They
was.
mentioned Tobias, so I'm thinking we're gonna get there at some point this season.
So I feel like Tobias has been looking 30 since he was in 1979, right?
Mhm.
So, like, so how like far back do these trials go? Like,
They said 30 years, at least in Freeland. Now elsewhere,
yeah, that's what I'm
all up
saying. Like,
story.
did Tobias get, his powers before that? I have so many questions. I'm way more interested in the powers and who has them and why and when did they get them and how long have they had them and what can they do. That to me is way more interesting right now than anything else.
When did Jefferson get his? Yeah.
Yeah, we still don't know when or how Jefferson got his, if he's one of these kids and Gambi just never told anybody. We don't know. Am I the only one excited by this?
No.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
like I said, I'm waiting for the last. I think the last 4 episodes will be fire. I think this particular episode was just sort of
Yeah.
transition to get to the other stuff.
Yeah. Did anyone else watch the preview for next
No,
week?
No, I
no.
didn't.
I
Okay.
didn't.
I did because I don't know if you have watched stuff on the CW website, but if you watch something and it's a couple days after it's aired, they will show the trailer for the upcoming episode during the commercials.
Oh yeah, I was watching it on the CW app, but when the commercials came on, I muted that and started watching something on my TV. So I
Okay.
probably missed it.
So that was the thing, was I was like, is this a ad for the upcoming episode even though I'm not done with this episode? This is really stupid, but whatever. So, it was they showed Lala again, and they talked about the stasis kids and something about bringing them back to life.
Hmm,
So I'm wondering if whatever Lady Eve was doing was about like resurrecting these kids in some way.
possibly.
So I'm excited. Is what I'm
Mhm.
saying.
Yeah,
Um,
all of that stuff I'm good with. It's just
Let's get there.
yeah.
yeah, it can we do less of the family and more of the superhero conspiracy shit.
Yeah. And I think they're like we talked about, I think they are going more with the kind of Tuskegee experiment kind of storyline, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Same,
So
same.
I'm excited for that. That is probably what I'll end up asking them about when I
Oh,
go to WonderCon this weekend, because Lord knows. Y'all, I'm so afraid I'm going to be in a room with Nafisa. I have to be like, girl, what's going on?
what had happened?
like,
She's gonna ask you about who's that dude that said I have no ass again?
no, I'm
Right.
gonna
That's
be
what I was gonna
like,
say.
I'm
Like
gonna be
she's
like, so E equals MC squared, and the mitochondria is
right.
the
We're gonna
powerhouse.
find out she's a premium subscriber.
Oh
Oh
my god.
shit!
Like,
Sorry.
nah.
Oh, oh my gosh. Okay.
We're
Feedback.
never getting to press rooms again.
Right.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah, we can't see it
Wait,
on the
so,
street.
so some Black Lightning people are supposed to be at WonderCon, or am I?
So apparently the cast and the writers and stuff are supposed to be there, and I'm doing the press room. I don't know who all is going to be in the press room. I believe Salim and Mara are going to be there, definitely, but I don't know who else from the cast will be there. So we'll see.
Way to wrap up.
You
Yeah.
got so you got questions that need answers.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
want to ask the question.
why did that phrase sound really weird coming out of Jefferson's mouth? Like, it sounds
Jefferson's
weird
so
coming from
extra
you, sir.
sometimes. He's so extra.
I think, Doc, I think you were going to say something about Henderson because I think that's the only thing we
I
have.
understand what I had to say. Mhm.
Oh, you okay? All right, cool.
Yeah, no, we good. Not he's stupid. Yeah. Mhm. Y'all ready for the feedback or?
Yeah.
So
Let's
just
go.
to Latoya says, I've been referring to Gambi as Dollar Tree Alfred. He has to do a whole lot to redeem himself in my eyes. And that's it. And then Joseph said, this is a fun episode, although Jen gonna get enough of cutting her eyes at grown folks. Say that again. Great. Now I sound like my grandparents. That's all right. I'm glad Anissa got her an official suit, and I love the slow-mo walk at the end. I'm glad somebody liked it.
I mean,
But
That
visually,
person's
two
not on
people
this
walking
show.
away and then an explosion in the background is always going to be kind of cool. Like,
But not this time. I just felt like, come on.
Although Anissa isn't the strongest actress in the world.
And better question.
That's a listener view. Please don't kick us out the press room.
Okay, better question. Although I like the song to a certain extent, the ghetto was like a terrible song choice for that fight scene.
Oh no, I
oh, yeah.
agree. That did
Hmm.
not align. I agree. That did not align at all.
Terrible.
I mean, I'm a Donnie stan, so I allowed it, but
But Donnie's got so many songs they could have used is the
Yeah.
point.
yeah,
It was good for the first part. It was good for the part where, ASA guy was trying to be all clandestine and pack up the lab before Black Lightning got there. Like that part I thought it was really cool for. But then when they actually started fighting and it was still going, I was like,
like
is
why?
this why the scene is moving so slow? Are they doing it to the tempo of the song? Oh gosh. Oh, this show. This show is sometimes some weeks is just so good and then whew.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Is there anything else? So
Nah, let's
Nope.
put this one to bed.
all right, you guys, thank you for joining us. I mean, they have 4 episodes. They have 4 episodes that I'm hoping are just action. They need Tobias and Lala to be in these episodes
Yes.
because right now their villains in this like bigger conspiracy thing is so much more compelling than what they're writing for this family. So they need that. But 4 more episodes. This has been a really fast paced season. A lot has happened. I'll give them that much.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you guys for listening, and we will be back here next week. Same black time, same black channel. Bye.
You need it like money, that's that green light. Have you stronger than any human, off that green light. You can take down the giant, off that green light.